Hello everybody, my name is Eileen. Welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. I'm 19 years old and I am a teen mom. For those of you who are new, this is my first baby. I had a little boy and his name is zejai. This is going to be my labor and delivery story time. I was supposed to do a vlog for you guys, but everything happened so fast. I didn't even have time to pick up the camera and I was in a lot of pain, so I just didn't even care to pick up the camera. I tried, I really did, but I just kind of gave up because I didn't like the video clips that I had. Anyways, baby is right there on the bed, and don't worry guys, I have little receiving blankets all around him so he can't really roll right now, so I'm not too worried about it, and he's fine. So I will be showing you guys him at the end of the video, and I will be showing you guys my postpartum body as well. So yeah, let's get into the story time. I had the baby March 7th on Saturday at 4:20 p.m. I was in active labor for 8 hours and I pushed for 10 minutes. He is early, he's a preemie baby. He was 4 weeks early, so I had him at 36 weeks. We were in the hospital for 7 days, which is longer than what you should be, but he was in intensive care, so they were just making sure that everything was good. He was on monitors for a while. He had a little IV and everything. So yeah, that's what I needed to catch you guys up on, so let's get started. So I actually started going into labor the Sunday before, so I actually went to the hospital because I started bleeding, and when they checked my cervix, I was 2 centimeters dilated, 80% effaced, and baby's head was down. My contractions were 5 minutes apart, but the doctors stopped them because he was really early at that point. He was 35 weeks, which is only a week before I had him, but still it was too early for them. So they stopped my contractions, they gave me medicine for it, and then they also gave me a steroid shot for baby to help his development just in case he did come early. They sent me home, and then Monday after that I had to go back to the hospital, get a second dose of the steroid shot because you have to have 2 doses in order for it to work. So yeah, I got steroids for baby just in case he came early. Tuesday I was having Braxton Hicks contractions again. It wasn't like normal or wasn't regular. It wasn't real contractions anymore. It was just Braxton Hicks. Wednesday I had real contractions again, and they were 5 minutes apart again, so I went back to the hospital to just make sure everything was alright, and this time, instead of stopping my my contractions, they told me to walk around the hospital for an hour, go back, and they would check my cervix. Again, before I went walking I was 2 centimeters, and then when I went back I wasn't changing at all, so they just sent me home, and they told me that if your water breaks or your contractions get like 2 to 3 minutes apart, come back. So I was really upset because honestly guys, my body was just so exhausted at this point. My back was hurting me a lot. I wasn't getting any sleep because of how much I was having contractions. I was just really uncomfortable, and baby was running out of room in there. So I was just ready to have him. My body was ready, but they weren't letting me have him. So on Thursday, my mom came over and she told me that one of her yoga instructors told her that she rubbed her ankles while she was pregnant, and 2 hours later she went into labor. So we tried it. My mom rubbed my ankles and my feet, and there's a pressure point on the back, like the side of your heel. And when you rub it, when she was rubbing mine, I was getting like a really sharp, like burning pain, and baby was moving a lot. He didn't like it, so it was kind of weird. And like now, if she does that to me, I don't feel the same way I felt when I was pregnant. So, and some doctors will even tell you don't rub your ankles, don't rub your feet when you're pregnant because it could cause labor. I don't know how true it is, but it worked for me, so here we go. So on Thursday, my mom rubbed my ankles for me, and then Friday she rubbed them again. And on Friday she left at like 4:30 in the afternoon, and around 7 I went to the bathroom, and when I wiped, there was like, it looked like mucus. what was it? My mucus plug. I told my baby daddy, I was like, babe, like, look. And he's like, what is that? And I was like, I think it's my mucus plug. So I sent the picture to my nurse, and she told me, yep, that's your mucus plug. Are you contracting? I was contracting, but they were only 7 to 5 minutes apart. So I ended up calling the labor and delivery, and I asked them if I should go in, and they told me that I could go in just to see what's going on, but that if I wanted to wait it out, to wait it out. So I waited it out. I ended up going to sleep that night, and at 8 in the morning, my dog woke me up to go outside, and I had to like stop while I was walking because I had got the worst contraction I had ever felt. So I was like, oh my god, maybe today's the day, but I still was like, I don't want to go and get sent home, so I'm just going to wait it out a little bit longer. So I ended up just going back to sleep, and around 9:30 I got woken up from the pain. So I was like, yep, it's time to go. So I called my mom and I told her what was going on, and she said, call your dad and see if he could pick you up to take you to the hospital. So I called my dad, and he said, can I change really quick? And I said, yeah. So I started, getting ready or whatever. Like I straightened my hair a little bit, and I put a little bit of makeup on. And while I was doing my makeup, my contractions were getting worse, and they were getting closer. At this point, they were 3 minutes to 2 minutes apart. So around 10:30, my dad finally got here, and I got in the truck. And on my way to the hospital, I started crying because how bad the pains were getting. And so I get to the hospital, and they start registering me. I couldn't even answer the questions, guys, that they were asking me, like, what is my date of birth, all of that, because I was in so much pain. Like, I couldn't even think straight. So finally they, picked me up in a wheelchair, took me up to the labor and delivery area, and they put me in my room. They told me, pee in the cup, put your gown on, and we'll put you on the monitors and check your cervix. So I peed in the cup, put my gown on, laid in the bed. They hooked me up to the monitors. My contractions were really big, like the mountains. You could see like the mountains. So after they put me on the monitors, they laid me back, and they checked my cervix, and I was 4 centimeters, and I was 90% effaced. So that meant my contractions were changing my cervix. They told me that they were going to call the doctor, and so they called the doctor. He told me that I could eat right now or whatever, and then they would check me in an hour. I ate, and then I didn't really have an appetite because like I was in pain, so I couldn't really eat. But then my labor pain started getting really, really bad, and I started like crying, and I was yelling, and I didn't want nobody touching me, and the only person that could calm me down was one of the labor and delivery nurses. And it's because I think I couldn't get mad at her like I could get mad at my mom or my baby daddy. So she was the only one that would calm me down. She kept telling me to breathe it out, don't freak out, because it could hurt the baby, or if I like tense up my uterus, my cervix will get swollen, and it'll be harder for him to come out. So I was trying my hardest. They asked me if I wanted the epidural. Your girl said yes. So they said, okay, we'll order it. Doctor's coming right now. So just, hang on. You can do this. So finally, the doctor gets there, and it was like an hour had went by. And at this point, it was probably already like 1. So he checked my cervix, and I was already at a 6. So he said, okay, go ahead and order her epidural. And then I got up to use the bathroom, and my doctor asked me if I wanted him to break my water after the epidural or like now. And I told him I don't want any more pain, because I've heard that when they break your water, it hurts. So I told him if he could do it after the epidural, and of course he said yes. My doctor is such an amazing doctor. I love him so much. He said okay. He told the nurses, let me know when they do her epidural, and I'll come back and break her water. So they told me that they were going to order my epidural, and that the anesthesiologist would be right up. It took probably 30 minutes for the anesthesiologist to get there. Finally, he gets there and they tell me that they need to take my blood to see if I could get the epidural. I don't know what thing they were testing for, but they told me that if it was my levels were high or something, that they wouldn't be able to do the epidural. Your girl was mad. I was already screaming and I kept telling my mom, where the hell is the anesthesiologist? Tell him to hurry up and get in here. And my mom kept telling me, he's outside, Z, he's outside. He wasn't outside. She was just being a mom and trying to calm me down. And then I kind of yelled at the nurses and I was like, how long is this gonna take, getting my lab results back? And they were like, 10 minutes. And I was like, I can't wait frickin' 10 minutes. I didn't use frickin', I used the other word, but we're not gonna do that here. Those 10 minutes went by, nothing yet. Finally, I see the anesthesiologist walk in and I was like, oh my god, let's get this rolling. He kind of told me what was gonna happen. He was like, I'll walk you through everything as I'm doing it, but I'm just gonna tell you what you're gonna feel right now, everything like that. As he was getting his stuff ready, the nurses were kind of telling me okay, we're gonna sit you up, you can't move, even if you're getting a contraction, you have to sit there and wait it out. You can't move because if you move, you could go paralyzed, all that stuff. They sit me up and they tell me that I could either have my mom or my baby daddy in there. I picked my mom because my baby daddy was already really nervous, so I told him go outside, go smoke a cigarette so you could calm down. So my baby daddy leaves the room, my mom goes in front of me, I was having a contraction and I started crying and they were like, calm down, they're gonna start, you can't move or something could happen, you gotta stay still. So so he starts, doing whatever. He starts sanitizing my back or whatever, and then he says, okay, big poke. It was a big poke, but guys, let me tell you, if you're gonna ask me if the epidural hurts, because I've gotten asked already, compared to labor pains, the epidural is nothing. If you decide to get an epidural, don't be scared, because you're gonna once you experience labor, I feel like any pain after that is nothing. That's what I felt. So so he puts the numbing fluid in. We're gonna let your back get a little bit numb. So I probably had 4 contractions through that whole thing, and ooh, they were bad. And then he says, okay, are you ready? And I said yes. And then he says, all right. So he says, curl over. You have to curl like a cat curl, if you know what that is. It's kind of where you hunch your back. I hunched my back and all I felt was a pressure, kind of a little bit of pressure. And then he put it was like a catheter. They put a catheter in your back. It's not a needle that stays in your back, it's a little tube that goes in. And then they taped me up or whatever. He put the dose in. He gave me a little dose of it at first just to see how my body would react. And so they laid me back down and he waited in there for a little bit. He hooked up, because they give you a little button to press to see if if you need more, but it only gives you a certain amount. After a while, my legs started feeling a little hot, my body got a little hot. Not my body, my legs got a little hot. I felt the first contraction after I got it a little bit, and then slowly when I was getting more contractions, it started going away, the pain. But your stomach does, you could still feel it getting tight, and you could still feel a little bit down there, just when you're ready to push. So I could still move my legs. It honestly felt if you sit on your legs for too long and they're a little tingly. And so after they gave me my epidural, the nurses called my doctor, and about 30 minutes or 20 minutes went by, and he goes in and he's like, all right, ready to pop your water? And I was like, yes. They put me a catheter in after I got the epidural. So they put me a catheter in, called my doctor. The catheter, I didn't feel it because my legs were already numb. I was already numb from the waist down. And so my doctor gets there, and as he checks my uterus, and at this point I was 7 to 8 centimeters. and 100% effaced, and baby's head was already like right there. So he looks at the clock and he says we should be having a baby here by 4:30. At this point it was already like 3:20 or like 3. I think it was like 3. So he breaks my water, didn't feel that, and then I finally was happy. I was in a good mood because I wasn't in pain anymore. I was laughing. My best friend and my mom were in there. My dad was there, and yeah, I was happy because I couldn't feel the labor pains anymore. And then about an hour goes by and the doctor comes back because I was starting to get pressure down there, like I needed to push. So the doctor comes in and he checks me again and he says, yep, you're 9 centimeters. He's like, but baby's head is right there. So we're just going to have you start pushing. So the nurses come in and they're kind of telling me like, this is how you're going to push and this is what's going to happen. And so they prop my legs up and they say this is a practice push. So I do my practice push and they're like, oh my God, like his head's already coming out. The doctor... they're like, don't push, like we have to wait till the doctor puts on all his surgical stuff, and I was getting upset because I had to push. So he puts on his stuff, they take the piece off the bed, they put my legs on the little prop things, and then my best friend and my mom were in there, and there was just a bunch of nurses in there. My baby daddy wasn't in there, guys, don't ask. We're not going to talk about it. He's in the baby's life now, so it's all good. My best friend was standing at the end, and she's pregnant too, so like when I started pushing, she kind of like looked a little like shocked, and the nurse told her like, if you want to go up there, you can. So she moved up to where my head was. My mom was at the end where the doctor was, by the doctor. And so I started pushing, and when his head came out, my mom got squirted with whatever's in there, blood and all that. It literally squirted her everywhere. I felt so bad. And then so about 5 pushes, I pushed for 10 minutes. I don't know how many pushes it was, but he came out and they laid him on my chest and they were cleaning him or whatever. And since he was early, he started having like a little bit of trouble breathing, so they put him in the incubator and they took him away. I have 2 first-degree tears. I have one on the inside and one on the outside. And, yeah, that's that. It sucked, but I mean, hey, I got a couple of stitches. It's nothing bad. So, yeah, they took baby to the intensive care unit and they put him on oxygen. He was only on oxygen for 15 minutes, but they had to put him on an IV to give him antibiotics to make sure he didn't get any infections, because preemies are prone to infections more than a regular, full-term baby. I gave my mom the other wristband to get into the nursery so she could go check on him, and then they told me once, you feel like you could walk again, and you need to go to the restroom, and after you use the restroom, we'll take you to the room that you're going to be staying in. So, about like 2 hours went by, and I finally got a little bit of feeling back in my legs, and I needed to go pee. So when I first peed, guys, it wasn't that bad because my legs were still a little bit numb, but it did burn. And let me tell you, I didn't believe people when they said that little squirt bottle becomes your best friend. Guys, oh my God, whoever came up with that is a genius, because literally it was a little painful to pee. After I peed, I forgot to mention, when I first went in, they weighed me and I weighed 158.2. And after I had him, after I peed or whatever, they weighed me again and I weighed 151.6. So I lost like 8 or 7 pounds after having him. I didn't gain a lot of weight through my whole pregnancy. It was all baby, honestly, you guys. My body's literally flat now. My stomach's flat. So yeah. And they took me to my room, and I kept asking, like, when am I going to see my son? Like, I just want to see my son. So I got to the room at 6, and my dad and my best friend went and got us McDonald's. So I ate a little bit, And then at 7:30 they let me go see the baby. I'll show you guys pictures of what he looked like. He was all hooked up to monitors. He had a little IV. It was really sad. But he was okay, and he wasn't on oxygen anymore. And then I went back to my room. I took a shower. After I showered, my dad and my best friend left, and it was just me and my mom there. After I showered, we went back to the nursery, and I stayed in there for probably like 2 hours with him. And then I went back and I went to sleep. And after that, we were in the hospital for 7 more days. Just because baby, they wanted to make sure everything was okay, and plus all this stuff that's going on with the coronavirus and all that, it's really hectic, so they had us there for a little while. So yeah guys, that's my labor and delivery story. So I'm gonna show you guys baby really quick. This is my monkey. He's a little redhead. Him is a little redheaded baby. Oh honey. Okay. Yeah, this is ZJ. He is a week and 2 days old, and he's so cute, guys. He's a very good baby too. He sleeps, and he only wakes up like 3 times during the night. He wakes up at 4, wakes up at 7, and then he'll wake up at 10. And usually I'll just stay awake after that. But he has red hair and blonde hair. He got the blonde from me, and he got the red hair from his dad's side. His dad has black hair, but it's like hereditary, so like it's in the family. Like his dad has red hairs in his beard, so yeah, that's where he got red hair from. He does look like his daddy a lot, but he's a little güerito version of his dad, if you don't know what that means, like a little blondie version. Look at his little feet, he's so handsome. I love him so much. I love being a mom, guys. Like, of course, carrying him was the best in the world, but actually having your baby here is even better. But yeah, for him being a preemie baby, he did really good, and we got to leave the hospital, and he's still doing really good. He has his first appointment tomorrow at 11:15. I'm gonna try and show you guys my body really quick. Let me see if I could put him down. So here it is with my shirt down. I'm pretty flat, and here it is with my shirt up. I didn't really get stretch marks or anything. Hold on, the light looks like crap. Okay, I have a little pouch still, but nothing too major. So yeah, that's what my postpartum body looks like after a week and 2 days. But alright everybody, that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up, like, comment, and subscribe to become part of my journey of becoming a first-time mommy. I do want to do like morning routine with the newborn, night routine, all of that. So yeah, if you guys want to see those videos, subscribe, comment any questions, anything like that, and I'll answer them in the next video. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!